Today we're going to create our fish for our shark background, and we're going to practice mixing some colors. You will need a carton of the primary colors, a fish stencil, a pencil, a small piece of paper, some water, and a black handled brush, and some paper towel. Start out by putting your name and teacher code nice and small at the top. Then you will carefully trace 6 fish nice and close together. Make sure you can fit all 6. If you can't, erase and try again. When you have all of your fish on there, you want to make some light pencil marks for what colors are going where. So start with your primary color notes. So you're going to put an R for red, lightly, a B for blue, and then a Y for yellow. And then we want to remember how to mix our primary colors to create the secondary colors. So we're going to put R plus B is going to equal purple or violet, and then yellow plus red will be orange. And then finally we need to make green, which is blue, plus yellow equals green. So make sure you write those nice and light so that you can paint over them and disguise them. So now you're ready to add paint. I would suggest starting with the primary colors because those are already made and you cannot make those. With your brush, carefully outline the edge of your fish so you're staying inside the lines, because we may not see our pencil line very well for cutting later if we're not careful. So go ahead and outline very, very carefully. Do not push too hard with your brush. You want to be able to stay inside the lines. And once you have outlined, you're going to make nice brush strokes back and forth. Lift your brush every time you make a new brush stroke and paint it in. When you're ready to switch colors, don't forget to rinse very, very well and have a paper towel handy to dry your brush and make sure there's no extra paint on there. So give it a good squeeze in there and pat it, and you're ready to move on to the next color. So same thing, you're going to outline first very carefully and then paint on the inside of it. After you have your primary colors on your paper, you're now ready to create your secondary colors. Make sure your brush is nice and clean. So I'm going to start and I'm going to use those notes that I have on there. So R is for red, so I'm going to get probably about the size of a dime, not too much. A little bit of paint goes a long way. So I'm going to get a little blob of red and a little blob of blue. Blotting and rinsing my brush really, really good every single time. And try and get equal amounts, because if you have a little more than the other, you'll end up with a tertiary color. So after you have both, stir them together very gently, staying inside of your lines. And then outline very, very carefully. If it looks a little bit too bluish, you can always add a little bit more red. And if it's too reddish, you can add a little bit more blue to it. So whatever it needs, just do add a little bit of the opposite color. So this is a little bit blue-violet, but that's okay. And you're going to go through the same process for the other 2 mixed fish. Rinse really good when you get to that yellow so you don't muck it up in the carton. And once you have all 6, you can place it on the drying rack.